The forgotten contract Scylla stood at the edge of the landing ramp, her boots sinking slightly into the soft red dust of the dead planet. The air smelled of metal and dry ash. Old buildings stood around her like broken teeth, half-eaten by time, weather, and silence. Once this was a human colony. Now it was just another graveyard. Her client had called it a simple job. Find the treasure in Vault 9. Bring it back. Don't open it. Those were the words in the contract, nothing more. Scylla was not the kind of alien to ask questions. She was a seeker, paid well to find lost things. Her skin was a soft violet, her eyes deep silver. She worked alone, always. The scanner in her hand beeped quietly as she walked through the ruins. Walls covered in moss, doors sealed shut, shattered glass under her feet. She didn't care for history, only the reward. Deep underground, the scanner led her to a sealed chamber. The old human vault door stood before her, covered in thick vines and dirt. She cleared the surface and found the code panel still working. Strange. She tapped her wrist pad and linked her tech. A few sparks flew and the vault hissed open slowly. Inside was darkness. She stepped in, her lights shining on old crates, ancient machines, and one large cryopod in the center. Everything else was junk. This pod was different. Scylla approached it carefully. Frost covered the glass. Inside, a male human lay still, his eyes closed, chest not moving. "What is this?" she whispered to herself. She scanned the pod. The cryotech was ancient but still active. The life signs were weak but present. He was alive. But then something strange happened. Her scanner beeped wildly and shut down. Her ship, still parked outside, sent an alert. Power levels were dropping. System error. No way this human is doing this? Scylla frowned. She touched the pod and a pulse of blue light moved through it. Symbols appeared on the side. Human symbols mixed with something older. Something alien. She pulled back quickly. Her instincts told her this was no ordinary cryosleep. Pod and no ordinary human. Her wrist communicator buzzed. The client was calling. "Did you find the treasure?" the voice asked, cold and sharp. Scylla looked at the pod again. "Yes," she said slowly. "I found something." "Good. Bring it to the coordinates. Do not open it. Do not ask questions." The call ended. Scylla stared at the pod again. The human's face was calm, young, peaceful. She had seen many things in her years of work, but nothing like this. Why would someone freeze a human in a treasure vault? And why was her tech breaking down? The human moved, just a twitch, a finger. "No, no, no," she whispered. "You're not supposed to wake up yet." The pod made a soft hissing sound. Then with a sharp click, it unlocked. "What the stars are you?" Scylla said. The pod opened slowly and the human's eyes opened with it. He blinked, confused, weak. Scylla raised her blaster but didn't fire. "Who are you?" she asked. The human looked around, then at her. His voice was dry, barely a whisper. "I don't know." Suddenly, a light flashed on her wrist device. "Unknown, DNA detected." "Error. Error." Scylla's eyes widened. This man, his DNA wasn't normal. It was rewriting her scanner's code. How was that possible? The human tried to sit up but collapsed. Scylla caught him before he hit the ground. "You're the treasure," she said quietly. "But why?" Outside, the wind howled across the dead world. But below, in the silent vault, something ancient had begun to wake, and Scylla knew this contract was more than just forgotten. It was a trap, and the real mission had only just begun. The human wakes. Scylla flew her ship low through the clouds of a broken moon. The engines hummed softly, but inside the cockpit, her heart beat faster than usual. The human she found, frozen in the treasure vault, was now lying in her medbay, barely stable. He hadn't spoken again since whispering that he didn't know who he was. But Scylla knew something was very wrong. Every time she scanned him, her ship systems glitched. The engine monitors showed strange symbols. Lights flickered without reason, and just 1 hour after she brought him on board, her navigation star map reset itself, showing planets and sectors that didn't exist anymore. The computer was learning from his DNA. Silas sat beside his bed, staring at him. His skin was pale, his breath slow, but there was something ancient hidden behind his peaceful face. "You are not just a man," she whispered. "You're a signal." Suddenly his eyes snapped open. He gasped, pulling air into his lungs like a man who had been drowning for centuries. Alarms blared, the lights turned red. Systems across the ship began shutting down one by one. "Containment failure," the ship's AI said. "Foreign code detected." "Stop it!" Silas shouted, running to the command deck. The systems wouldn't respond. Her ship was no longer hers. Back in the medbay, the man sat up slowly. His hands were shaking. He looked around like a lost child in a strange house. He looked at Sila with confusion. "Where am I?" he asked softly. "You're on my ship. I found you in Vault 9, frozen. Do you remember anything?" He closed his eyes. "I remember screams, a bright light, and pain. Then darkness." Sila nodded. "What's your name?" "Ryan," he said slowly. "I think, yes. Ryan." "Ryan," she repeated. "Do you know what you are?" He shook his head. Before she could say more, the ship suddenly stabilized. Systems returned to normal. Her controls lit up again. The ship's AI spoke, voice steady. "Foreign code integration, complete." "What does that mean?" Sila asked. "His DNA has merged with ship protocols," the AI replied. "He is now recognized as primary user." Sila stared at Ryan. "You're controlling my ship?" "I didn't mean to," Ryan said quickly. "I just felt something, like the ship was calling to me." Sila paced the floor, thinking hard. "You were built for something. Someone made you this way, and now someone is going to come looking for you." A message alert blinked. Sila opened it. A new transmission from her client. Just 4 words. "Bring the human now." She didn't like it. Too fast. Too direct. "I think they knew all along," she said. "You weren't guarding the treasure. You are the treasure." Ryan looked down at his hands. "I don't feel like treasure. I feel broken." But Sila wasn't listening. She was reading a second file that had just appeared in her system. She didn't download it. The ship must have uncovered it from deep memory. It was a project file. 1 word in bold. Project Keyborn. She opened it. Images flashed. Scientists, alien machines, DNA codes, tests on human subjects. And Ryan's face. Younger, confused, afraid. His blood used to activate alien vaults. His body used to bond with ancient tech. He wasn't just a man. He was the living key to a lost weapon, a creation from a war that was erased from history. "They made you," Sila whispered. "Not born, designed." Suddenly Ryan screamed and fell to the floor. His body shook violently. His veins lit up with blue light moving like fire under his skin. "Make it stop," he cried. Sila ran to him, grabbing a shock injector from the wall. She pressed it into his neck. The light faded. His body stopped shaking. He opened his eyes slowly. "I saw something," he whispered. "Machines. Stars. A voice calling me." It said, "Return." Sila helped him up. Her voice was low and firm. "They're calling you because you are their key. And if you return, they'll use you to unlock something powerful. Something dangerous." Ryan looked at her with fear. "Then what do we do?" Sila stepped back, her hand resting near her blaster. "We run. We hide. And we figure out what you truly are before someone else uses you to burn the galaxy." Outside the ship, far in the black void, a signal was sent from the moon base. It was silent, invisible, and fast. It traveled light years in moments, and on a dark planet in a forgotten system, a metal eye opened. The hunt had begun. Betrayal on the signal moon Sila's ship dropped out of hyperspace near a small, cracked moon floating near a red dwarf star. The moon was named Station 6, once a mining colony, now a forgotten trading post for scavengers and shadow dealers. Sila had been here before. It was one of the few places where you could vanish without questions. But this time was different. Ryan sat in the co-pilot seat, staring out the window. The stars didn't comfort him anymore, they felt like eyes. "Why are we here?" he asked. Sila kept her voice flat. "We need to refuel, and I need answers. If we're going to survive whatever's coming, I need to know who built you, and why." She didn't tell him the full truth. She had sent out a hidden message from deep space, a back channel to an old contact who once worked with genetic relics. The reply came quickly. "Come to Station 6. I have information about the Keyborn." Sila hoped it wasn't a trap, but in her gut, something didn't feel right. They landed on the broken dock. Sparks flew as the rusty clamps held the ship in place. Outside, the moon's surface was filled with half-dead machines, walking drones, and strange creatures wrapped in rags and metal. The whole place smelled like oil and desperation. Sila told Ryan to stay on the ship. He agreed. He didn't feel well. The closer they got to this place, the more his body burned with strange energy. His dreams were worse too, machines whispering, his name in forgotten languages. Sila walked through the station, every step heavy with tension. The contact's name was Vecro, an information broker with a face made of living wires. He sat in the shadows of a storage bay, his silver eyes blinking out of sync. "You brought him, didn't you?" Vecro said. Sila didn't answer. "Tell me what you know." Vecro grinned, wires twisting. "The boy is older than you think. His body was made centuries ago, not just human DNA. The old ones added something else, something forbidden. He is not just a key. He is a door." "A door to what?" Sila asked. Vecro leaned closer. "To the vault of the old ones, a machine world buried in the dying stars. It holds a power so great it could reset time, destroy worlds, or protect them. But only the key can open it." Sila felt a chill in her chest. "Why does the client want him?" Vecro's smile vanished. "Because your client is not who you think." Before she could ask more, alarms screamed across the station. Unauthorized docking detected. Weapons charging. Sila's heart dropped. She ran toward the dock. Above the moon, a massive black ship appeared from hyperspace. Silent, smooth, shaped like a claw. It belonged to Corin Syndicate, the deadliest mercenary group in the outer systems. They didn't just want the key. They came to take him. Sila reached her ship, but it was too late. Armed mercenaries were already forcing the hatch open. Ryan tried to fight, his body glowing with blue pulses. But he was weak, untrained. A blast rocked the ship. Sila dove through smoke, firing her blaster, hitting 2 attackers before they could reach Ryan. "We have to go. Now!" she shouted. Ryan nodded, gripping his side. "They're here for me." Sila guided him through a hidden maintenance shaft below the dock. Old tunnels twisted under the surface used long ago for smuggling. Behind them, footsteps echoed. Gunfire. Shouting. They reached an old airlock. Sila opened a small storage pod, a one-person escape shuttle. "Get in," she said. "What about you?" Ryan asked. "I'll distract them. You get to the backup ship parked in Bay 12. You remember the way?" "Yes," he whispered. She closed the hatch and hit launch. The pod shot through the tunnel like a bullet, shaking the walls. Sila turned around just as Merc stormed in. She fought with all her training, ducking and blasting, using shadows and corners. But she was outnumbered. A soldier hit her with a stun blast. She collapsed. Above in the bay, Ryan's pod broke through the ceiling. He rolled out, weak but burning with power. Something inside him told him where to go. His DNA pulsed with direction, an invisible map unlocked in his blood. He ran to Bay 12. The backup ship was old but ready. As he powered it up, his hands moved, faster than he knew. The ship responded to him, like it recognized him. As he flew away, he looked back at the moon, his heart aching. "I'll come back," he whispered. "I'll find you, Scylla." But far away, on the mercenary flagship, a message was sent to the client. The key escaped, but the hunter is captured. "Orders?" The reply came back instantly. "Bring her. She knows too much. The next vault will force her to talk." And deep in the void, the Old Ones stirred. The door was opening. The vault of the Old Ones, stars burned, silently as Ryan's ship glided into the edge of the dead zone. This sector wasn't on any modern map. It was a forbidden stretch of space hidden behind collapsing wormholes, broken planets, and silence that crushed the mind. His ship's sensors screamed warnings every second. Gravity shifts, dark radiation, time pulses. But Ryan didn't stop. He could feel the direction. His blood, his bones, his mind, all were being pulled by something older than memory, something that had waited too long. He was alone now. Scylla was gone, captured by the same mercenaries who once hired her. She had risked everything to save him, and now she was in the hands of the people hunting him. That thought burned inside him more than the stars outside ever could. "I'll find you," he whispered to the darkness. "But first I have to find out what I am." He reached the end of the coordinates that had been flashing in his dreams. And there it was. A massive structure floated in space, hidden behind the shattered remains of a planet that looked like it had been sliced apart by a god's blade. The structure wasn't built. It was grown, half machine, half organic, shaped like a sleeping starfish, glowing with blue veins. His ship slowed. It recognized him. Identity confirmed. A voice said, ancient, hollow, layered with whispers. "Keyborn prototype active, welcome to Vault of the Old Ones." The structure opened. As he entered, the ship shut down, gently landing on a glowing platform. Lights crawled along the walls. Air hissed. Ryan stepped out, his boots touching a floor that pulsed like skin. He walked alone through long corridors of silence and memory. Images floated in the air, memories from a forgotten time. Humans being trained, experimented on. Alien machines pouring data into children's minds. Then explosions, war, betrayal. Then darkness. And in the center of it, all Ryan, younger, confused, screaming. He stepped into a large chamber. It looked like a throne room, but the throne was a machine. Wires, tubes, and a glowing core waited for him like a heart with no body. "Sit," the voice said. "What is this?" Ryan asked. "Your birthright," the vault replied. "You are the Keyborn. Your DNA is the final code. You are the last interface between organic life and machine memory. You were made to awaken us." "Why me?" he shouted. "I never asked for this." "Because you survived." Suddenly his chest burned. His veins lit up again. Blue light moved through him. The machine reached out, metal arms sliding gently. Around him, locking onto his skin, he screamed but didn't pull away. Visions flashed. Planets in war, empires falling, species erased. The Old Ones built the vault to stop it. A weapon that could rewrite history or protect it. But they failed. The war consumed them too. But they left one key behind. Him. The machine core spoke once more. "You can command us, but at a cost. Part of you will be lost forever. Do you accept?" Ryan thought of Scylla. Her voice. Her courage. "Only if it helps me save her." He pressed his hand into the glowing console. The vault responded. The entire structure lit up. Waves of light firing into space, pulsing a message across the stars. Old tech woke on distant moons. Hidden weapons powered up. Lost machines turned their eyes toward the source. In the outer rim, on the mercenary warship, the message reached their screens. The general stared at it in shock. "The vault is live," one soldier whispered. "And the key is active." Scylla, locked in a metal cell, looked up. The walls buzzed. Something had changed. She felt it in her bones. "He found it," she said. The general stormed into the room. "What did you tell him?" he growled. Silas smiled, weak but defiant. "Just the truth." "Then he's too dangerous," the general said. "If he controls the vault, he can erase all of us." But the ship trembled. Outside, stars moved unnaturally. Gravity bent. The vault was calling back its pieces, and nothing could stop it. Back in the core, Ryan's eyes glowed with energy. His voice echoed with power not his own. "I remember now." He stepped out of the throne, no longer shaking. The machine was part of him now. He didn't just hold the key, he was the door, and someone had just tried to open it without asking. The DNA weapon, deep in the core of the vault. Ryan stood still, his eyes glowing, his breath steady. But his heart was not. He could feel everything now. Every circuit of the ancient machine. Every piece of knowledge the old ones left behind. Every war they fought. Every world they failed to save. It all lived inside him now. He wasn't just a human anymore. He wasn't just a key. He was becoming something else. His DNA had unlocked the vault, but it had also changed him. The longer he stayed connected, the more the vault rewrote his body, his brain. He could think faster, move faster, hear energy hum in the air, but each upgrade came with a warning deep in his mind. Lose too much, and you won't remember who you were. And he couldn't afford to forget. Not yet. Not until Silo was safe. Suddenly the vault pulsed. A sphere of light appeared before him. Inside it floated a map, an ancient one, showing a lost planet hidden behind collapsing space. Folds. The old ones had called it Kortha, the location of the final activation chamber. But the map didn't end there. It showed something worse. The Koran Syndicate wasn't just working for his old client. They were working for a hidden empire. A shadow government from the core systems, made of alien rulers who wanted the vault to restart the galaxy in their image. And Ryan was the only one who could do it. He stared at the map, then at his hand. The machine had begun to etch symbols into his skin, slowly, carefully. Instructions. Code. He was becoming the final interface, but he still had a choice. "Guide me," he said. The vault opened a path, his ship, now fully fused, with the vault systems, lit up. The controls bent to his will. It no longer flew like a ship. It moved like a living thing. As Ryan launched toward Kortha, another message reached him. Not from space. From her, Sila sat in the dark. Her cell shook again as the mercenary ship entered hyperspace. They were moving her toward an unknown station, called Black Hollow. She had heard whispers. It was where people disappeared. Forever. Her face was bruised. Her arm burned from a deep cut. But her spirit? It was still sharp. One of the guards, a young one, stopped by. His name was Kren. Sila had seen doubt in his eyes. "You don't have to do this," she said. "They'll kill me," Kren replied. "They'll kill me first." Sila smiled. He hesitated. Then quietly, he slipped her a wrist comm and walked away. Sila waited until the lights dimmed. Then with weak fingers, she sent a short transmission to the only one who might hear her. "Ryan, they're moving me. Black Hollow. Don't come unless you're ready to fight gods." She didn't know if he got it, but far away, flying through starfire and broken gravity, Ryan heard her voice. And something inside him snapped. When he reached Kortha, the planet was already surrounded. Mercenary fleets, stealth drones, mining rigs. They were trying to dig into the planet, but they couldn't reach the core. Only Ryan could. He flew straight into their blockade. Alarms lit up. Fighters launched. They opened fire. But his ship moved like a ghost, phasing between shots, teleporting short distances, impossible speeds. He didn't fire back. He touched their systems. With thought, one by one, enemy ships shut down. Lights off. Engines dead. Floating like metal coffins in the void. "Who is that?" a commander screamed. A reply came from an old intelligence officer. "That's not a man. That's the vault." Ryan landed on Kortha. The surface cracked, under his feet sensing his DNA. He walked toward the central node. Around him, machines began rising from the dirt, ancient guardians shaped like insects made of stars. They scanned him, then stepped aside. The final chamber was ready. Inside, a glowing cradle waited. The machine spoke again. Merge now. Complete the bond. Your mind will shape the future. Ryan hesitated. If he did this, he might lose himself, his memories of Earth, his feelings for Scylla, his humanity. But if he didn't, the Empire would come, and they would take it all. He stepped forward, but before he could place his hand on the cradle, he saw something in the reflection. Not himself. Scylla, tied, bruised, eyes burning with fire. A voice whispered through the machine. They have her. They will use her to break you. Ryan stepped back. Not yet, he said. I won't become your weapon. He turned around, rage and resolve burning inside him. First, I get her back. He climbed back into his ship, and in the stars, he sent a final warning to the syndicate. You wanted a key, but now I'm a blade. The client returns. In the silence between galaxies, a black ship moved like a ghost. It was called the Obsidian Reach, and no living creature who saw it up close had ever told the tale. It wasn't just a warship. It was a palace, a prison, a machine of judgment. It didn't belong to the Corin Syndicate, though they bowed to it. It belonged to the client. No one knew their true name. Some said the client was an ancient alien who had merged with dark matter. Others said they were once human, but fused their mind with thousands of artificial brains to become a perfect thinker. But all agreed on one thing. When the client moved, empires trembled. And now, the client had moved. Deep inside the Obsidian Reach, Scylla sat in a cold cell of black glass. No bars, no doors, just walls that watched her. She didn't sleep. She didn't speak. The air was laced with memory gas. It made her remember things she wanted to forget. Her mother's voice, her first mission, the day she lost her sister in the stars, the first time she smiled at Ryan, but she held on, because she knew he was coming. Suddenly the wall shifted, not opened, just melted. A figure entered, tall, faceless, wrapped in dark robes woven from artificial gravity threads. The face was a screen, but not flat, shifting, a mirror of shadows. The client. You found him, the voice said, neither male nor female. Not loud, but it filled the room like a storm. Scylla didn't answer. You led us to the vault, the client said. You completed your contract. I didn't sign up for this, she growled. No one ever does, the client replied. Yet here you are. Scylla stood, her fists clenched. What do you want from him? What he already is, the client said. A key that opens the last door, but also a weapon. His DNA is the final puzzle piece. When placed in the heart of the vault, it will awaken the machine race of the old ones. We will control them. And through them, the galaxy. He'll never let you, Scylla spat. He won't have to. He's already changing. The more he uses the vault, the more he becomes ours. The room darkened. The client stepped forward, and, if he resists, we will show him what happens when you destroy those who care. They raised a hand, and Scylla screamed as her body was hit with a wave of cold fire. Not pain. Memory loss. Bits of her past burning away. Stop, a voice shouted from the shadows. A blast of energy hit the wall and Ryan stood there. But he wasn't just the boy she had rescued. His eyes glowed like twin stars. Circuits laced his skin. His voice echoed like thunder and wind. Get away from her. The client turned. Even without a face, the pause said everything. Ryan's ship had arrived silently, cloaked by the vault's own design, and Ryan had walked through the Obsidian Reach like it opened itself for him. Guards rushed in. They didn't last 3 seconds. Ryan didn't fire weapons. He rewrote them. Their guns melted into flowers. Their armor turned into sand. Their minds fell into deep sleep. He knelt beside Scylla, helping her up. She blinked at him, You came, always, he said. But then behind them, the client rose higher, taller, shifting. You can't win, Ryan, they said. You were made to open, not to fight. Give us the vault, or watch her fade. They snapped their fingers. The ship began to collapse. Metal screamed, walls bent, space itself twisted. They're turning the obsidian reach into a time pocket, Scylla whispered. They'll erase us from the universe. Not this time, Ryan said. He stood tall and spoke, in a voice that wasn't fully human anymore. System override. Protect the bonded. Cancel all time shifts. Release all memory locks. The vault heard him, and across the galaxy, ancient systems lit up. The obsidian reach shook violently. Panels shattered. Light broke through every wall. The ship began to split apart, as if rejecting its own master. The client screamed, not in pain, but in defeat. You were supposed to be a key, they shouted. Not a king, Ryan turned. I am both. With one step, he carried Scylla through a portal that bloomed from nothing. They vanished, and the obsidian reach, the most feared ship in the stars, collapsed into a single spark, then was gone forever. They landed on a quiet moon, a safe place the vault had prepared long ago for emergencies. Ryan held Scylla as she caught her breath. Did we win? She asked. Ryan looked at the sky. No, he said. This was just a warning shot. They wanted to use me. Now they'll want to destroy me. What will you do? He turned to her. I'll finish what they started. I'll use the vault not for war, but to protect what they could never understand. His hand lit up. A final map appeared. The last piece. A planet called Triniax, where the machine race of the old ones slept. And it was waking up. The living treasure. The moon was silent. Scylla lay beneath a silver canopy of stars, her head resting on Ryan's shoulder, both of them staring at the sky as if it might answer the questions burning inside them. But there were no answers left, only decisions. Ryan had seen the final map. The path to Triniax, the forgotten planet where the machines of the old ones were buried deep beneath oceans of crystal and fire. Not deactivated, not dead, just sleeping. And now, they were stirring. His DNA had been the spark, but it would take more than blood to survive what was coming. The next day, Ryan stood alone on a ridge of glowing rock. The vault spoke through him now. It whispered strategies, showed probabilities, calculated the odds of survival. But the one thing it couldn't understand was love. Scylla approached, her eyes still bruised but fierce. Are you sure you want to do this? She asked. I'm the only one who can, Ryan replied. They'll come again, someone worse than the client. Someone who doesn't want to control the vault, they'll want to destroy it, and you. I know. She took his hand. Just don't let them take you away from me. Ryan looked at her, soft sadness in his eyes. I'll come back. The ship launched from the moon like a comet reborn. Ryan piloted it with thought alone. Space folded for him. Stars shifted aside. He didn't travel through space. Space moved around him. Triniax appeared on the edge of a dying system. One sun remained, cold and flickering. The planet looked dead from orbit. Black clouds, burning skies, oceans made of ash. But as Ryan descended, the truth revealed itself. Beneath the storm clouds, mountains of glass reached into the heavens. Below them, cities built of living code pulsed beneath the surface. And at the center, the core chamber, guarded by the machine elders, long dormant. He landed in silence. Not a single enemy in sight. But he knew better. The vault guided him through, corridors of light and data. Memories floated beside him. Recordings of the old ones creating life, destroying it, regretting both. They had built the machine race to protect knowledge, but then they feared what they had made. So they hid them, buried them, and left one key behind. Ryan. He stepped into the final chamber. 12 giant machines stood in a circle, each the size of a city, their metal skin carved with symbols that shimmered like stars. They opened their eyes, not red, not blue. White. Pure memory. Pure power. One spoke. Not with words, but meaning. You have awakened us. You carry the vault. You are the chosen interface. Ryan stood firm. I didn't ask to be chosen. That is why you are worthy. A bright light surrounded him. It didn't burn. It welcomed. The machine scanned his soul, not just his DNA. His memories of Scylla, his pain, his fear, his choices. You chose to protect, not to rule. You may speak the final command. Ryan breathed slowly. This was it. The moment he had been created for. Not to unlock treasure, not to destroy, but to decide. I want the vault to stay hidden, he said, but awake. Protect the galaxy when it needs you. Not to conquer, but to stand as a shield when everything else fails. And what of you? They asked. I want my life back. You are part of us now. Then take what you need, but leave what matters. A long pause. Then light wrapped around him. His body shook. His memories flashed. Moments with Scylla. The ruins, the escape, the screams, the laughter. He held on. And then... silence. Ryan opened his eyes. He was lying on the floor of Scylla's ship. Scylla was there, holding him. You're back, she said, tears slipping down her cheeks. He smiled. Yeah, I promised, didn't I? Weeks later, rumors began to spread. An Empire's ship tried to breach the vault zone. It disappeared. A fleet launched toward Triniax, never returned. And from the edge of space, a message echoed through every frequency. We are the guardians of knowledge. We are awake. Do not come with war. On a quiet station far from the core systems, a young girl pointed to a hologram. Who's that? She asked. Her father smiled. That's Ryan. He was once a normal human. They say he was a treasure hunter. Did he find it? The father nodded. Yes. But the treasure wasn't gold or weapons. Then what was it? He smiled again. He was. The end.